I think they were in kindergarten together, and then it was a real small school, so even if they were in separate classes, they did a lot, like the gym stuff and lunchroom, so they've known each other all their lives, really.
And Shanda had drawn a picture of her on one side of a house and Derrick on the other side of the house, and they had flowers all around it and stuff, and she had wrote their names on there.
It was just like one of our, I guess it was like a school project kind of thing, and I guess I was learning to write, so I just had to write a lot of different things. And I guess since at the time, since me and Derrick stayed together and whatnot, he was the first thing I put in my little book. It looked completely stalker though, because it was me and him in a house and the whole rainbow and sunshine. It was really creepy, but
undoubtedly it was meant to be, because she drew the picture of them.
No, they just happened to stay at the same babysitter and going to school together. I don't guess we really knew each other when we were young. It's more acquaintance than anything.
I'm proud of her that she can take care of herself.
She's not afraid to be honest, and I think that's a good trait for anybody to have, is honesty. So, because I feel like she'll be honest with Derrick in their relationship.
She's stylish. She's addicted to Pinterest, that's for sure. She's always on Pinterest.
If she gets something in her head, she usually gets it done, so she's dependable.
She's organized, she plans things well.
Easygoing and always happy. Funny, I mean, she speaks her mind, she's funny.
She stands up for everybody.
She's very sociable. Even if you don't know Shanda, you could talk to her like she's your best friend.
Derrick is probably the most loving and caring man.
He's really tender-hearted. He may not want people to know that, but he is.
Well, he'd always want to help you. I mean, if you're doing something, he'd help you.
He'll stand up for you. Like if he feels somebody's doing you wrong, he'll tell them and he'll try to take care of you. I think he'll really take care of Shanda. He really loves her. And
yeah, you can definitely tell he's both nice and honest. And he's a really good guy. You can tell he's loyal, and he stood by Shanda through everything. So we really like him.
He's always there if you need him to be there. He always do anything for you if you need him to.
He sincerely cares about people.
Derrick loves grilling. I've bought him a couple of shirts picking at it that says Grill Master, because he thinks he is the king of the grill.
Well, I remember going to Dustin and Casey's house because they invited me to the bachelorette party, and I really wasn't sure about going because I knew I'd see a lot of people from school, and I was like, well, I'm not sure about it, but Casey's one of my best friends, so I was like, okay, I'll be there. So I remember being there. I had gotten there really early, and then everybody started kind of filtering in. I remember when Derrick walked in, I was like, oh my gosh, that's Derrick Honeycutt. Like, I haven't talked to him forever.
I guess first it was all physical attraction. She looked good that night.
He swears I ignored him. I did not ignore him. I probably maybe threw my hand up or something, but I did not ignore him completely. Maybe just a little bit, but not completely.
I guess something in me just, wanted to try to get to know her, take her out. And
later on that night, once Derrick got some liquid courage, that's when he decided to actually try to have a conversation with me.
Well, needless to say, alcohol was involved. And, yeah, I pretty much stalked her the whole night. Just seeing her, I guess put my mind to it, and that's what I wanted. I wanted her that night.
Liquid courage and conversation was a little bit, whatever.
I might have overstepped my boundaries a little bit that night, but, it was all in good fun, and we had fun with it,
And so, kind of role reversal, I stalked him when we were like 5. Well, then when we were like 25, he decides to start stalking me. So he, all night long was just talking to me, and like everywhere I turned, there was Derrick standing there, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is up with him? Because like I said, when we were in school, we didn't have anything to do with each other. It was like we were two totally different people. But I remember going home that night, and Derrick asked me for my number before he left, and I told him, I said, if you can remember in the morning that you want my number, then I'll think about giving it to you. And then I was like, he is totally going to forget that this even happened. And then that was all I thought about it. And then about a week later, Casey called me and said, Derrick's really embarrassed about what happened at the bachelorette party. He wants to call and apologize. Am I allowed to give him your number?
initially I'd called her to apologize for stalking her all night, and I asked her if she wanted to go out, and we went out on our first date. And
Next thing I knew, she said, "Guess what? I got a date." And I said, "Well, with who?" And she said, "Derrick Honeycutt." I said, "Derrick Honeycutt that lives over the road?" And she said, "Yeah." And that's when I found out that they were going out.
But I just thought it was like super weird because we'd always known them, and then Shanda's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go out with Derrick Honeycutt," and I would have never, imagined that. But so I just remember I was home. I think we were eating like Sunday supper or something, and she mentioned that Derrick was coming over, and I just thought it was crazy. But he came over. He walked in, and it was kind of awkward because I hadn't seen him since like high school. But it was unusual, but it was kind of fun.
When he started seeing her, I said, I thought then, I said, well, dang, that'd be a good couple. And here they have been so close, living so close together. And, I really was tickled when they finally started seeing each other. I know she'd be a good one for him, and he'd be a good one for her.
He seemed kind of quiet for our bunch, and he still does, because we're, my bunch is kind of wide open. And I mean, he fits in good.
They see their parents weekly, and that's unusual. And I know they all live here in Stanley County, but they make sure they see their parents weekly. Derrick would do anything in the world for his mom and Chris. And
I think we both love getting together. My family treats Shanda like family, and her family treats me like family, so it's in the corny way of saying it, one big happy family. But we really are, and it's just great to have future in-laws that you can relate with and feel like they're, you're really not just gaining one person, you're gaining a whole nother family.
I mean, I feel like it keeps us close, that, you can get everybody together in the house one night a week to hang out and just talk with each other and everything. So, I mean, as far as seeing and being around our family, it's, it's pretty important. And like Derrick said, it makes it easy when you feel just as welcome at your own house or at his parents' house as I do at my own mom and dad's house.
Well, they're both very friendly, and they're both very caring. They make each other happy. They're going to make sure they go see their family. They're going to make sure that everybody's okay around them. If not, they're going to take care of you. I could call them and ask them to do anything, and they'd be right there. Shanda
is a friend. She'll help people out any way she can, and I think Derrick's the same way. I think that's why they work so good together, because they're both there for people, and they can, you can depend on them. If they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it.
The word I would use is crazy. They're fun and crazy.
Derrick is the only person that I can imagine being able to put up with Shanda for the rest of his life, and they're so they really do work well together, and you don't see that very often. And I wasn't sure what that would look like for Shanda, but I mean, it works. So
Shanda's just, I always say she's crazy. She's just bubbly. She's funny to be around, and Derrick's a little quieter. Shanda's the outspoken one in the two of them, but together they're just funny together sometimes. Like they just they don't mind being kooky or crazy just to have a good time.
Made for each other. They're perfect.
I think that they've both grown spiritually since they've been together, so I would probably say that it was God.
I just think they're made for each other. I really do.
Well, Derrick came over to ask my parents for approval, and he walked in the kitchen and was talking to my mom about it, and I heard her bust out crying.
He asked Mike out in the shop, and then Mike asked if he was going to tell me, and he said no, he was going to wait and let Shanda tell me. And Mike said, well, if you don't tell her, I will, because he couldn't keep it. So Derrick came in and told me then.
I knew exactly what it was. And I walked in there, and he showed me the ring, and he told me what he was doing. He was like, "You do not tell Shanda." I'm not going to ruin the surprise. But we were all excited. We were all in the kitchen crying.
The funny thing is, I love the Biltmore house. I've been, I don't know how many times, and I just love it. Every time I go, I see something that I didn't see the time before. I could go all the time I know everybody calls it just big house, and Derrick's like, it's just big house. It's stupid. It's just big house.
I've known for a while that, you know, she was the one I wanted to marry, so the thought process of how to go about proposing was always there. And I kept thinking about Biltmore. Every time she would say something about we should go to Biltmore, I'd always play it off. I don't want to go up there and waste my money looking at an old house.
So that morning, he decided to tell me where we were going, because he said, if I don't, and you're not wearing the right clothes or something, you're going to be mad. So he told me where we were going, so I could make sure that I was dressed appropriate or whatever. So he told me we were going to the Biltmore house, and it really didn't even, I just thought, okay, we're going to the Biltmore house. I honestly 100% just thought we were going to the Biltmore house.
And so Shanda and I were shopping the day before, and I said, you know, wouldn't it be really weird if Derrick proposed to you? And she was like, oh, he's not going to do that. And she said, he's not going to do that. And I said, well, last night I had a dream that Derrick proposed to you. And she was like, shut up, you're so stupid.
We had been there all day long. I mean, we left here at probably 8 o'clock-ish and drove all the way up there, had lunch, went to the house, went to the gardens. He not only bought passes to the house, he also bought passes to go to the Candlelight Christmas, because I'd never been before. So that was another thing. I didn't think anything about it because I'd never been to Candlelight Christmas, so I thought it was just, you know, I was like, well, that's sweet. I thought it was my Christmas present, honestly. So we walked around. They had this massive tree that's in the middle of the courtyard looking space, and we walked around that tree like 5 or 6 times. You know, then I was like, okay, it looks like it's time to head up to the house. I said, it looks like it's getting close to our time. So we walk up to the front of the house, and I'm standing there, I'm taking pictures, and you know, because it looked really pretty, everything was lit up. So I'm taking pictures, and I remember turning around to do something, and when I turned back around, Derrick had this crazy look on his face. And I was like, what? I was like, don't you do anything stupid. What's wrong with you?
Got down on one knee there at the door and popped a question.
And I lost it. I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried. I got a nosebleed because I cried so hard. But every time the light would hit the ring, I'd see the ring, and then I'd start crying again. So I know these people probably thought, God, this chick is really emotional over a big house with Christmas lights, but I couldn't help it. I was just so excited.
She was so excited. She called me, actually, on the way home from the Biltmore house and was telling me about it, and she was crying then, you know, and she said she cried the whole time, and she was so excited. And that kind of surprised me, because she had said, you know, that she wasn't ready to get married. She, you know, they had talked about it, she said, and it wasn't going to happen for a long time. And
finally she did call me, and she was like, Derrick just proposed to me. She was crying and screaming and loud. Always.
It was a shock, I think, to her and to me, but I think we all kind of knew, you know, it was coming pretty soon.
I remember all the summer days, I'm drinking wine in the sunshine. I hope it never leaves. And I remember all the summer nights, staring at you in the moonlight. I hope you never leave, 'cause baby, you're so good to me. You have all that I ever need. It's easy to love you, so easy to love you. You know it's true. The best part of being with you, to know you're with me. It's not so hard to say. It's easy to love you.
Yeah, I'm marrying my best friend.
I'm marrying my best friend.
From the first time I saw you, I knew you'd be mine. From the first glance you gave, my world had slowed, you stopped the time. And in that moment, I I could see all of the things that we would be. You were the girl I was waiting for, that I would ask to marry me. Like the beauty of the sun, you light my life so I can see. You make me laugh and show me how, just how good this life can be. And in our moments filled with joy is where I live, where I am free. Lay in my arms, I'll hold you tight, just like you like, continually. And I am overwhelmed by you, and overcome with joy.
On behalf of Shanda and Derrick, welcome to what I guess for most of you was sort of an unexpected wedding. But it's such a privilege to be a part of this occasion with them as their pastor. And I don't know if they shared with you the story, but it just came to me several weeks ago and said, hey, we just really feel like we need to start our life together off on the right foot. And this is unexpected, this is not planned, but we need to get married. And so here we are. And guys, I'm proud of you. It's an honor to be your pastor and to watch a young couple just have such a heart for God and a heart for His Word to do something out of the ordinary. And so when we have Christ as a part of our life, we can then begin to experience this relationship, this covenant relationship, in a way that is beyond human comprehension. It's beyond any kind of expression that we would be able to stir up or manufacture on our own. It's in that relationship with Christ and knowing Him personally and intimately that we can love another person like He describes in His Word.
I dare take you, Shanda, to be my wedded wife.
In the presence of God and our family.
In the presence of God and our family.
I, Shanda, take you, Derrick, to be my wedded husband.
In the presence of God and our family.
In the presence of God and our family.
I offer you my solemn vow.
I offer you my solemn vow.
They've asked that their rings be blessed by their closest family members who are present here today.
And I give this ring
as a symbol of my love and faithfulness.
As a symbol of my love and faithfulness.
As I place it on your finger.
As I place it on your finger.
I commit my heart and soul to you.
I commit my heart and soul to you.
You may kiss your bride. It is my pleasure to introduce to you for the very first time Mr. and Mrs. Derrick Honeycutt. Congratulations.